So if you were with us a few months back when the Diddy lawsuit started to fly, if you recall, 50 Cent got into it with his baby mama Daphne Joy, because back then there was a lawsuit that named her, along with Young Miami, to be workers for Diddy, and well, things escalated even more over the last few days when a Jane Doe testified in court, and it turns out that the said Jane Doe was reportedly Daphne Joy, and 50 Cent took to IG to do his thing. And before we get to it, today we also have more linked to the Stans documentary, as we got to hear from the director Stephen Leckart, and we also got to find out some more details about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, this time from Samuel L. Jackson, and of course his comments sparked split reactions. And before we get to it, we got some nice jokes to get the ball rolling today, because if you recall, there was a time when hip-hop media journalists took part in the buffoonery of how Eminem's hits did not age as well as his contemporaries, and here's a fun fact this week on the official albums chart in the United Kingdom, the latest one, that shows Eminem's Curtain Call was the #1 selling hip-hop album this week in the United Kingdom, all while it has moved roughly 350,000 units so far in the United States in 2025. That shows that once again, it is pacing to move over 700,000 units sold in 2025 in the United States alone, just like it has been doing over the last 5 years. Now, how's that for hits that aged poorly? And starting with the update on the Stans documentary from Stephen Leckart, we got some more background story of how this came about.
It's about fandom and fame. So I grew up on hip-hop in the 80s and 90s, was a huge fan, and also was raised on MTV. So I witnessed his rise. One of our producers, Antoine Fuqua, knew that. I was working with Antoine, and he had a relationship with Eminem's team. He thought I would be good for it, made all the introductions, and here we are.
And I guess you kind of turn the idea of like a sort of music documentary on its head slightly, because you're starting from the fans. So is that kind of the concept right from the beginning?
It was really not that complicated if you think about it, because the song Stan, which inspired the film, is told from the perspective of a fan. And the entire song goes that way until the very end when Eminem essentially writes a letter right back to the fan. And so we figured, well, why don't we just make a movie that reflects that? I think it's one of the greatest songs ever written. It's wound up in the OED for a reason, right, as a term that we all use in the lexicon. So to make a film that's about that, to me, was fascinating, because I started my career as a music writer. So I've been thinking about these themes as a fan of music and as a writer and creative person for years. So the timing just was perfect.
And he also expanded on how things have changed today compared to the early 2000s when it comes to how fans interact with their favorite celebrities and artists, although the essence remains the same.
The idea of social media and our relationship to the people we love and the artists we love has been completely transformed.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at Twitter X, right, or you go on Instagram, you literally click a button that says following. That wasn't the case 25 years ago, but now it's this device we hold in our hands, and any time of day, 24/7, we now have an expectation that our favorite artists will be speaking to us, or we'll know what they're doing, or we can reach them and send them a note. That is very different from when it was 25 years ago and the song Stan came out. But I feel like the kernel of the idea of what that song is about isn't about what medium you connect with your artist with. It is about that obsessive sense of connection.
I guess if you are really an Eminem fan too, perhaps the side of the documentary that is more traditional, going into his history, and I guess it can make you feel quite emotional seeing what he did mean to fans, not just because of his music, but because of where he came from. Did that mean a lot to you too? What was it like working with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to make a film that's about obsessiveness, you need to show the reasons why people are connected to the artist.
What is your favorite moment, either in the making of it or when you watch it back now, whether it's from Eminem or one of the fans?
Still the ending. The last line is my favorite thing.
And what do you hope people ultimately take away from watching the film, whether they're an Eminem fan, whether they're not?
Art can really change your life for the better. That's it. The things that we consume, we read, we watch, we listen to can really heal us and get us through tough things.
And as far as I know, everyone who managed to see it have only given positive reviews so far, and we are gonna find out more about this one when it hits Paramount Plus in a few weeks. And moving on to 50 Cent versus his baby mama, after news broke out that the Jane Doe testifying against Diddy was his baby mama, 50 Cent took to IG stories to begin, just like he did in the past when she was named in a lawsuit as an alleged S-worker for Diddy. And 50 Cent actually posted this snippet of a conversation between Cameron and one of the male S-workers reportedly hired by Diddy for freak-offs.
Some of my co-hosts, they got a couple questions for you, but I got one more question before they ask you a couple questions. We hear about 50's baby mom, Daphne, being involved in some of these things. Did you ever Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man.
And what a question. It is just trolls everywhere in the hip-hop space, and 50 Cent posted that snippet with the caption, "Well, here comes the bull crap. Don't kiss my boy with PP mouth." And shortly after, 50 posted this image with the caption, "What the F?" And since everything is already out there, some users are dumbfounded that she went in as Jane Doe. What was the point of her going anonymous on the stands then? Facepalm emoji. Does she really think that we wouldn't know who she is? Shrugs emoji. As soon as she led with, "On our first date, I told him I dated someone else in the industry, then shared she's a single mom. If you know, you know." And it is some lawyers who were reportedly on the scene who are pissed off right now as they believe her testimony may have weakened the case against Diddy in the eyes of the jury. Check this out from attorney Simone Redwine, who put 50 Cent's baby mama on blast. Brace yourselves for this one.
Do you know this girl had the audacity to come in there and be like, "I felt pressure because he paid my rent"? Get a job. Get a job. She literally said her sources of income was Diddy giving her money and her child support. Get a job. She is making real victims look terrible. There have been no facts so far that were anything like Cassie. And my concern is that this is going to lose the jury such that they don't want to give credibility to those like the Cassies. She really had the audacity to say, and she is stupid. She is unwise. Listen, if you're going to walk around beautiful and talentless, you know, you don't want to get an education, that's fine. I don't know, maybe she got a learning difference. But don't be stupid at it. She really sat up there and said that Diddy had asked her how much of an allowance she liked. She said 15,000. Diddy said no, 10. You know what she does? She takes the whole 10 and says, "Okay, well, I'm going to go get an apartment. I'm going to go get a house. I want to rent a house for $10." Girl, you ain't got no talent. You're useless. You have no education. How can you do that? And you know you have a child to support. If you don't take 5 of it, get you a nice apartment place to stay in where she want to live was LA. Get you a nice place to stay for $5,000 and take the rest and save or whatever like that. No, you're going to take all 10 so that you can Instagram from a nice little place. Get a job. And what I really think, baby, they about to slaughter her on cross-examine, as I would. As an attorney, I would slaughter her. I'd be like, "Isn't it true you're just here because you are in fear of a child support dispute with your baby daddy? Because you already said your only income was Diddy's money and child support. So if your baby daddy, who's already, let's say, for example, her baby daddy is upset that she was even involved with this, right? Because I'm sure he would be. Any man would be. Your baby daddy is taking the custody, then what do you lose? All your income. Because you no longer have Diddy's income because he's locked up. And now you no longer have the child support that you chose to live on rather than getting a job, rather than doing something. Shame on you.
Well, that escalated quickly.
It got a little out of hand.
And moving on, we got to hear from Samuel L. Jackson about the part he played in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance.
What did that feel like, though, feeling like you contributed to positive change?
I don't know that, I don't know that I did. I know that I did what I thought was right and I took part in it. I used my voice and I used myself in a way,
You're still doing that though, right? Because you did the thing with Kendrick.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know that's what they were doing. It was kind of...
And another thing.
It was kind of trippy because when we were rehearsing, we just had our clothes on, and I was looking at the dancers and they were doing that dance, doing the things and doing the stuff. And it wasn't until dress rehearsal that when I looked up and I looked on that stage and I go, "Oh shit, that's a flag." And he was doing this. Oh fuck!
I'm in the civil rights movement again.
We're being revolutionary. It's like because I wasn't listening or paying attention. You picked the right person but the wrong time. And all that's like, the revolution. I was like, oh shit. Okay, here I am again. But
But it was a great thing.
Something about me or my persona has put me in the right place at the right time in change of the zeitgeist. In a way, in a lot of different moments in my life. And I have to accept that that's what I'm meant to be sometimes, an agent of change, whether I know it or not.
It's so powerful.
And to be proud of it and to know that, God has placed me in a place that I can be influential in a real and positive and kind of awesome, thing for the masses. Because people need things.
When you speak, people listen as well.
Yeah, but I always want to be on the right side of history in terms of what's going on. And sometimes it's not my choice. You know, the powers that be have decided, okay, this is who you are. Because, you know, me standing there going, hey, salutations. It's me, your uncle, Sam. I was just, you know, this is cute. I wanted, you know, Kendrick and them hired me to do this. And my name is Sam. So I said, yeah, I'm Uncle Sam. But then I realized
layers.
You're being put in this place for a reason, and you're dressed this way for a reason. You are part of change. This is an awesome moment of change for people sitting there watching.
And his comments have sparked split reactions for obvious reasons, since he was kind of all over the place after he also revealed that he wasn't really aware of what was going on initially. And everyone is catching hands right now and getting dragged, from Kendrick, Drake, and even actors in general. Like this one, actors know next to nothing about anything, and people blindly hang on their words as if they are all-knowing and wise. But how I see it, he pretty much just stated that he was there to do a job.
Nothing more and nothing less.
We're inviting you to be on the right side of history.
Accidentally?
Accidentally.
And some believe he was trolling the interviewer. Samuel is 100% being sarcastic to the little white girl. He has the "I'm only paid to be here" attitude, laughing emojis. And of course, like we've come to expect between the fan bases, some wasted no time. So you mean to tell me he didn't know the show was about Drake? Which only led to even more debates about how it wasn't about Drake. And the bad blood is still flowing and showing no signs of slowing down. The current remains as strong as ever. If you ask 100 Kendrick fans what that performance actually meant, you'd get 100 different answers. They don't know. Nobody knows. Fake deep bullcrap at its peak. And we're gonna have to test this one out in the comment section. Perhaps I got the wrong impression that the meaning was quite straightforward. So share your thoughts below. And here's a breakdown before we end it today. How some have explained Samuel L. Jackson's claims. I would get how people would be a little disappointed when they hear that he didn't realize the intent, especially since he was a part of some powerful black movements in his college days. But as paid actors, they have to attempt to not rattle any cages and appeal to all people.